bringing Israel to the world. This is IBN News.
With News of Israel, I'm Susan Michaels. Well, it's official. Israel is going back to the polls. Just barely a month after the swearing-in of the new assembly, Knesset members have voted to dissolve parliament. Of the 120 lawmakers in the Knesset, 74 voted in favor, 45 against, after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu failed to put together a coalition with the majority of Knesset members. The sticking point, which prevented coalition agreement, was legislation to draft ultra-Orthodox men into the army, with Yisrael Beitenu leader Avigdor Lieberman refusing to compromise on the original version of the bill, and ultra-Orthodox parties refusing to accept it. If the deadline had passed without the Knesset being dissolved, President Reuven Rivlin would have given another lawmaker a chance to put together a coalition, which would have most likely been opposition leader Benny Gantz, whose blue and white party also won 35 seats in the April election. A U.S. delegation is visiting the Middle East this week to garner support for the U.S.-brokered economic workshop in Bahrain. Senior White House advisor Jared Kushner and Middle East envoy Jason Greenblatt hope to bolster support for the conference scheduled for the end of June, which is aimed at helping the Palestinians. The plan is to encourage investment in the West Bank and Gaza Strip by Arab donor countries. The workshop is said to be the first step in the presentation of the peace plan being called the Deal of the Century. The Saudis, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar, along with host Bahrain, have accepted invitations to attend. The Palestinians have refused. The widow of a rabbi murdered in the West Bank last year spoke to French lawmakers this week, telling them to consider how the money they give to the Palestinian Authority is being spent, informing them that the euros they give to the PA could be used to pay stipends for terrorists. French-born Yael Sheva, whose 35-year-old husband Raziel was killed in a drive-by shooting, told a Paris conference on Israel, imploring them to find out what your money is used for. One parliamentarian said, "You told us something the French public is not aware of." And moviegoers were evacuated from a cinema at Eilon Mall in Ramat Gan on the outskirts of Tel Aviv earlier this week after a fire broke out at a nearby restaurant. Smoke detectors went off as thick smoke filled the building, but a short time later, the fire was extinguished and everything returned to normal. I'm Susan Michaels.
IBN, Israel Broadcast Network.